Uniting Care presented us with the task of developing a product or service which will help reduce social isolation among the elderly. This pitch will focus on introducing an innovative product which tackles the problem on how we might encourage people aged 65 plus to participate in social isolation prevention activities and remain socially active after losing a loved one. To resolve this problem, it is suggested to develop an app called United, which offers a variety of volunteer jobs for the elderly to get involved in. Uniting Care currently offer a number of services for those socially isolated, such as transportation to appointments and social activities, a men's social group, music therapy, and the gym. However, all of these services focus on the tertiary prevention stage, indicating that the aim of these programs is to reduce social isolation among those who are suffering. Uniting Care has access to information on the symptoms of social isolation, though they do not utilise this resource by offering services which focus on the secondary prevention stage with the aim to prevent someone from going into isolation. Communicating to socially isolated people is difficult, therefore it would be effective for Uniting Care to fill the gap in their service offering by using their knowledge of the signs associated with social isolation to prevent people from going into that state. There was a number of market trends which influenced my decision to develop this innovative app idea. The age-agnostic trend articulates that generational boundaries are blurring, and people of all ages are now sharing similar values and behaviours. Due to this, older people do not want to be labelled as elderly because there is this negative association with the term of being insignificant and incapable of being able to offer anything of value to society. Therefore, the market is demanding for anti-aging products. This has influenced my innovative idea to offer an app which advertises volunteer roles throughout Queensland because it can be perceived as a product which could be used by people of all ages, even those primarily targeting those who are 65 plus. Another trend which encouraged the decision to design an app was the I can look after myself behaviour. This trend articulates that people are wanting to resolve their health and wellbeing problems themselves by using products which can assist so they can avoid the need to consult with professionals. Consequently, this is currently a barrier for Uniting Care because their services focuses on professionals providing support to those socially isolated. However, introducing the app will overcome this barrier and will help prevent social isolation among older people because the technology will allow them to independently solve their arising problems without any assistance, thus aligning itself with the I can look after myself trend. The volunteer platform app has been developed for people who share similar characteristics and attributes to the Widow Wendy persona. Widow Wendy is a 70-year-old female who now lives alone due to the recent death of her husband. As shown in the customer journey map, we can see that her loss is only the beginning of her journey to social isolation. The unfortunate event has influenced her to remove herself from a number of social groups because she is finding it too difficult to manage. As a result, she does activities or jobs around the house such as gardening and reading to keep herself occupied. After a month of grief, she has realised that it is not healthy to isolate herself and has re-established her desire to get out into the community and enjoy life like she once did. However, Wendy is struggling to find the strength and confidence to push herself outside her comfort zone and rebuild her social life. This barrier to social connectedness has prevented her from achieving her desire to be socially active again, and the lack of confidence and strength highlights her need for assistance. However, she is averse to seeking help from businesses that serve people of the same age because it makes her feel insignificant and incapable of looking after herself. The empathy map articulates Wendy's desire to rebuild her social life and regain a sense of purpose, value, and belongingness, therefore suggesting that she would rather give something of value than receive. This highlights the persona's desire for a product which will give them some guidance on how they can approach this problem independently. To address the social isolation problem among older people, it is recommended that Uniting Care Queensland develops an app which advertises volunteer jobs suitable for those older than 65. During the ideation phase, I used associative thinking to develop my prototype by observing current successful job sharing platforms such as Airtasker and analysed how this type of job could satisfy the persona's need for a sense of value and belongingness. The idea has been inspired by this job sharing concept because being part of a volunteer group can satisfy the desire for value and belongingness. When developing the prototype, it was important to remember that the app should be user-centered and should satisfy the customer's need. Therefore, the app design and interface followed these principles to ensure that it was suitable and easy to use for older people. The application of these principles is demonstrated in this prototype, where the sign-up form requires little information from the user. The search for volunteer roles is simplified with filters. Applying for jobs is easy because all it involves is one click, and users' profiles information will be sent to the listed business, and finally has one clear purpose, which is to offer volunteer roles to the elderly. According to jobs to be done theory, the development of this application will be effective because it will remove their lack of confidence barrier and will allow them to achieve their goal of becoming more socially active by giving them the confidence to help others and regain that feeling of value and belongingness in the community, thus reducing isolation. Legal issues were considered when developing the app prototype. Therefore, it was important that there was no presence of elder abuse when volunteering. To ensure that there is no evidence of elder abuse when the persona is using the app, safety measures will be actioned, making sure that none of the listed volunteer roles has the capability to abuse or embarrass the elderly. To help execute the app, Uniting Care will collaborate with previous partners Volunteering Queensland and Volunteering Australia. This partnership will assist Uniting Care with creating a large database of volunteer opportunities for the elderly, increasing the likelihood of the persona finding an interesting volunteer role. To ensure the prototype is desired by the persona, the co-creative service design principle was used during the development phase, with a representative from that persona helping with the creation of a new product which would prevent social isolation. The widow Wendy persona were looking for a product which would assist them with reigniting their social life by giving them some guidance on how to regain that sense of value and belongingness in the community. The app achieves this desire by encouraging them to help out others in society through volunteering, and being a part of a group will satisfy that desire to be valued and to belong. As a result, social isolation among this segment would be reduced because by volunteering they are engaging with society while also helping it. The development of the app would also fill the Uniting Care's service gap by providing a service which would prevent social isolation rather than reduce it. The idea is that the persona would be using the app before they lose their loved one. Then once they have overcome their grief, they have something to refer to which can help with rebuilding their confidence of becoming socially active again. Lastly, the app meets the market's desire to look after themselves. People don't want to consult professionals and instead want to resolve their problems themselves. The Uniting app aligns with this trend by allowing users to independently improve their social connectedness by volunteering across Queensland. Overall, it is clear that the app would be desirable to the persona Uniting Care in the market because it achieves that sense of value and belongingness, fills the service gap, and allows people to happily resolve their social isolation problems independently. As shown here, the cost of developing a volunteer platform app would be anywhere from $33,000 to $42,000. Approximately there is 427,728 widowed females aged 65 plus in Queensland who live alone, which indicates that the demand for the United app is reasonably high, as these women are looking for a product which would keep them occupied and socially active. In response to this forecasted demand, the app would obviously have to be free, otherwise we would deter potential users from using the product. Therefore, to generate revenue, the app must incorporate ads. Let's assume that 150 elderly people use the app daily for 15 minutes. This would mean that the ads would generate Uniting Care a daily revenue of $9 if the ads paid $2 for every 1,000 views. As a result, Uniting Care would generate approximately $3,240 from ads within a year. And to cover the remaining expenses, Uniting Care can use around 5% of their government funding. This indicates that Uniting Care would not have an issue with funding this project. Developing this app is viable because Uniting Care has access to a number of resources which can assist with the implementation of the app. They can use their partnership with Volunteering Australia and Queensland and their own branches such as Blue Care to increase the number of roles that are on offer to the user. The development of the app would have to be done and monitored by a third party because Uniting Care is lacking the technical resources to fulfill this job themselves. Finally, in order to increase the success of the app, Uniting Care would have to promote it, otherwise the elderly would be unaware of the newly developed product. The familiarity bias may prevent the app from being successful because the persona perceives Uniting Care as a professional healthcare service which helps others. Uniting Care's brand image may therefore prevent the user from using their app because they want to solve their isolation problem independently and may think the app requires an employee to assist them. If this is the case, Uniting Care should not create a strong association with the United app, otherwise it may prevent the product from reaching its potential.